So the NBPA Top 100 camp is ongoing. Yesterday was the first day of games, and there's a lot of stuff you can find online from this event. You can watch full games. You can find a lot of video highlights from those in attendance. We've got some of the best prep basketball coverers, media, doing write-ups on the biggest things that they saw, and we're going to do our best to summarize some of the names that stood out overall at this event. I will say there's a separate video we have on the channel about Luke Ertl's performance yesterday, just because we've been covering him so much, but he would belong on the quote-unquote standouts list from day one of the games of this event. There's four names, though, that I saw a ton, like basically universally positive praise from here. Tay Kinney, Colben Landrew, Dylan Mingo, and Arafan Diane. All four guys we have covered in the last month in various ways to, I don't know, varying degrees. But Tay Kinney, it sounds like, had just a floor general's masterful performance, a big scoring game as well. Colben Landrew continues to shoot the ball extremely well. Dylan Mingo, for what I saw, because I did watch a few of these games, Dylan Mingo looked like the best player in the gym at the
Oh,
entire event.
he's so good.
He's unbelievable. And then Dion had a really productive performance as well. So where do you want to start from these four standouts at the camp?
I mean, can we talk Mingo first? Just
Sure.
because it was truly like a special performance. And I think we talked about it on a lot of the Dylan Mingo videos that we do, but he like projects as just like this do all point guard. That's the thing. Like the scoring is there. He rebounds, he assists. I think he had three steals. He just does everything on both ends of the floor. And I'm not really sure how most recruiting services have him. I'm not like on three, I guess. uh, Jamie Shaw called him a 4-star, but I think he's in I think he's the number four overall recruit or something like that. So I don't know how that necessarily works out. This kid is nasty, nasty, truly. And it's like watching Kadari Richmond if Kadari Richmond could score and like shoot. And Kadari can score, right? But the jumper's funky.
Yeah.
Mingo doesn't have that issue to me.
Yeah, there's like you're talking big, athletic, overwhelming point guards. It's Kadari, and it also gives vibes of Io DeSumo. And I don't mean to do that because Illinois is after him, but like that's the vision here. Or even like the Harrison twins back in the day, right? Where it's just like these 6'5" athletes that can score and totally complete basketball player. For what it's worth, on three named Dylan Mingo their MVP in day one of this event, and they moved him up to fourth overall in their recent rankings update as a response. So you're right. He has gone from consensus 4-star to consensus top five player in the class. And basically, it's because anywhere he goes, he does this. Like we've been talking about it for a couple of months now. Anytime Mingo is on the court, he just is the baddest dude in the gym. Yesterday, his biggest performance, he had 29 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals, went 12 for 16 from the field. And by the way, he was playing with Luke Ertl. Like that was the backcourt. Mingo and Luke Ertl. Luke Ertl was also a breakout guy. That team won both games. And as good as Ertl looked, like we're going to talk about him in a whole separate video. He looks awesome. Mingo's in a different stratosphere. It's like a reminder as we're like, should Ertl be a 5-star? Maybe. If he should, Dylan Mingo should be a 7-star because this dude is just on a totally different playing field than everybody. Also, we should know as we go through this, it sounds like from everyone in attendance, they wanted it known that a big part of this event was how competitive it was. Like these games were not just let's get up and down and run a little bit. These games were like a monster of a game, and everybody's battling and really trying to prove what they got. That backs up what I saw yesterday when I watched a good amount of this. So for Mingo to finish with 29, 10, 5, and 3, those are not Mickey Mouse numbers. I was completely dominant in a really competitive setting against the best players in the class. Outside of that, let's go to Tay Kinney next. Tay Kenny was named as OnStar's third biggest performer. I saw a lot of buzz outside of the On3 world too on Tay, and I feel like he's probably the second name we want to call out. He was kind of just running the show, but also picking scoring spots yesterday in a way that I feel like can get kind of lost when you're watching Tay Kinney just dominate like from a ball screen floor general perspective. His best performance was 19.6 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 blocks. But it feels like he's cementing his fringe 4 5 star status, maybe gonna rise into consensus 5 star status soon.
Yeah, so I feel like sometimes, and even I fall victim to this. I think Tay Kinney kind of falls by the wayside, and you start looking at you talk about so many other point guards before him, like even another guy on three mentioned, Duran Rippey, I think is how you pronounce it. He had a lot of buzz at the Euro camp, the same Euro camp that Tay Kinney was at and was on a team with. I feel like, even the Mingos of the world, Luke Ertles of the world, there's a lot of PG talk and a lot of good PGs in this class, by the way. Like if you are a team in need of a PG going into, the not this season, but the next season, you can find yourself a killer out of this 2026 class, I believe it is. But yeah, Tay Kenny, when his jumper is falling too, like he'll be able to fill up the stat sheet like he did. And I don't consider it a consistent part of his game right now, but it's also not bad. It's just not consistent, right? If he does this, then, that pushes him to that 5 star range instead of being like that fringe range where he's at right now.
This video is brought to you by NBA 2KLab.com. 2K Lab worked with us last summer as well. They're one of our favorite entities in all of sports gaming. We want to show you their college basketball stadium locator challenge game. And I'm going to share a screen right now as we do this. South Carolina, bang. Oh,
Ooh,
okay, that's pretty good. Next, North Carolina. Why are we only getting the Carolinas?
please
Bang.
lock in.
St. John's, that's New
New
York.
York.
Bang.
Where's New Jersey?
We're on fire. Colorado. I actually don't know what state Colorado is.
It's in Colorado. There's a state of
Is that
Colorado.
this one?
It's to the right of Phoenix.
Anyway, you get the picture. This game's really fun. They've got more games as well, like Guess the NBA Player, Mystery Fantasy Draft, and more. Stay tuned for all of the college football content and games that they'll be putting together to help you get the best experience out of college football 26. Back to the video. Yeah. Maybe the buzziest highlight reel I saw from a player yesterday was Arafan Dion. And again, I have no idea if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but so he's a 7 footer.
Arfan John.
Arafan Dion, thank you. You're making that up, but I'll
No,
run
I'm
with it.
not. I did a video with Riley the other day. He told me that's how you pronounce it.
Riley was making it up then, but we can run with it. So
Okay.
Arafan Dion, he is a 7 footer who just like loves to float and has all this perimeter stuff. He can make shots from outside. I believe Kentucky's making a big time play for him, and I can see why. There's a clip of him yesterday, just like corner three off a little bit of a movement shot, and he's the biggest dude on the floor. It's kind of like honestly Thon Makery, if you remember those Thon Maker tapes back in the day. But Arfon had a huge game, 25 points on 12 shots yesterday. Only 2 rebounds, which I feel like, it's a small sample size, but like one of the knocks maybe on his game, I feel like, is that he's such a floaty 7 footer instead of kind of dominating interiorly. But 25 points with some threes mixed in is pretty crazy.
Yeah, so I honestly think that that's really not him though. Like kind of from other things I've seen. Like I'm honestly very shocked that he only had 2 rebounds because I think he does a great job of like sealing, finishing. He has amazing touch around the rim, especially going over his left shoulder. It's really impressive stuff. And I was watching some of his stuff with I think it's Iowa United on the Adidas circuit. Some of the stuff he does is like freakishly like eye-opening just as far as like his feel, his passing. And I talked about this on the video with Riley. One of the biggest downfalls of bigs is literally crapping themselves when they see a double team, right? And Gion's a player that's going to see so many because he is that dominant and physically. And he had like some passes that you just don't see 7 footers make. Not necessarily like, I'm not saying he's like bringing the ball and passing it, but the ability to see the double coming, be able to stand, be strong, look cross court and hit somebody. He had like a little baseline spin too, where he threw it to the corner, like that little whip around kind of pass. And when he made that, I was just like, that's like some freakish talent. But yeah, that's surprising that they only had 2 rebounds. And I know that, Arkansas fans were in my mentions massively saying that Coach Cal's been on him before anybody. So I think they're going to be a big factor in this one as well.
Okay. All right. Good to know. And then the last name on the list of winners from the first day of this, Colben Landrew, just quietly productive every time he's playing.
Is he gonna go anywhere and just not come away on a list where you're impressed?
And it's never the flashiest, right? And not to single out John in a bad way, but like everything he does is flashy. Like you said, it's like wow, head turning every time he touches the ball. Colvin Landrew is just like just a dog, just silently. And it's not silent because his fingerprints are all over the games, but it's just there's no flash to it. It's just like I'm bulldozing you, and there's nothing you can do about it. And I work harder than you, and I'll score and rebound. He averaged 19 and 9 in their two games, shooting really well from outside too, 4 for 11 from three. That was one of our questions when we first did film breakdown of him a couple weeks ago. It was like, is this jumper for real, or is it just sort of like he had a hot week and now everybody's taking notice? He's backing up that the jumper is for real right now. And if that jumper is for real with the size, with the physicality he has at the guard spot, whoever gets him is going to get an immediate impact, highly productive player.
Yeah. Also, I never want to see him on a football field ever again.
Shut it down.
Yeah, shut it down. Hang up the cleats, brother. It's time. He's too good. Yeah, I think he's just too good. And to your point, it really is not flashy, but it is just it's so effective.
Yeah.
It's effective, and it was effective at the Adidas Euro Camp. It's effective here. I mean, I don't know how many more times we got to go through talking about this guy and how effective he is at wherever he goes, but that's really what he does.
Yeah, just a true workhorse type. But yeah, I've enjoyed this cycle with this class because it feels like the recruits that we've spent the most time on in terms of just coverage that we think is worth talking about are the ones that are rising. Like sometimes we invest and we're like, oh, these are the guys, and then they just kind of like, yeah, okay, they're fizzling out a little bit. Basically, everyone that we've decided to cover recently has been like just crushing it. It feels like, which is
Yeah,
fun.
Bryson Howard was good at this game. Was there a player that you didn't see coming into this that you came away like, I love that guy?
Honestly, no, because I feel
Oh,
like all the ones that I loved were ones I already loved.
that's true. I would like to add a guy to my guy.
Ooh.
I might just be a team takeover guy. Caden Samuels is disgustingly tough.
We're gonna talk about him in a separate video because
Are we?
Kentucky's making an aggressive push. Do you
I
ever
think
look at the list before we just record?
no.
It's unbelievable, man. Everybody else in this channel puts like legitimate prep into a day full of these videos, and you just get surprised by as I start talking what
Was it
happens.
at the bottom?
It's next on the list, man. Let's go talk about Caden Samuels.